My bad, y'all. It should be showing here. Okay, let's rewind that. This is what happens when you do stuff live. Let's take it back. What's up, everybody? It is your boy, Uncle Greg, and we are back with another segment of picking NFL games. Streaming live on our Instagram page, something on nothing for the first time. So, welcome. Hope you guys subscribe, like all the videos that are going to be coming soon. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Before this, I was merely making these videos off a playlist from my own Uncle Greg YouTube account, but I feel like this needs to have its own life, and here we are trying to give it. But here we go. Let's get into these picks for week 15. For some reason. All right, all right. Here we go. Where is the internet page? There we go. All right, so for the first matchup of the week, Atlanta versus Tampa Bay, suffered an L. I chose Tampa Bay. Atlanta got the dub. Tampa Bay obviously didn't cover the spread. So 0-1 in the picks, 0-1 in the spread so far to start the week. But let's get into these week 15 picks. So for the first matchup, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Houston Texans. And I think without a shadow of a doubt, the Houston Texans are just a better overall team. So we're picking them as the pick. But 9.5 points, a little too steep. Oh, they have it -10. Everyone's going Houston, I guess. So even better. In my notes, it was at +9.5. So we'll even take that at Arizona +10. And let's see if they cover that, because I think that's just way too many points. Jacoby Brissett has been playing pretty decent. Let's see if um, Arizona could keep it close. Next up, we have New York Jets taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Spread was a little too high for my blood on this one, -13.5. I do like Jacksonville, but I'm not gonna believe that they can cover that many points. So we're running the under 41.5. Jacksonville and the under 41.5. Well, over here they have it at 40.5. Let's just go with the updated today's. So 40.5 as the under. I think a lot of people are betting it. That's why I went down. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Vegas having to fly east. They don't do well. They don't do well playing home. They don't do well flying in the planes. What? It don't matter. Philadelphia Eagles getting the dub here. That's my pick. Spread again -12.5. A little too big for my liking. Um, Under 39. Rocking. Oh my God! Everyone's rocking with the under. Look at that. It's at 37.5. So I'm rocking. I'm changing my pick on the fly. That's what we do. Rocking with Philly -12.5. I don't know if 37.5 is that's just not realistic. Which 12.5 points being covered, it seems more realistic against the Raiders. So that's what we're rocking with. Philly with the pick. Philly with also -12.5. Following that, we have the Washington Commanders taking on the New York Giants. The New York Giants, I think, got some momentum a little bit with Jameis Winston back there just chucking shit. Wish they had a run game, but they don't. But I think Washington is just in a down spiral for some reason. Maybe Jaden Daniels being not durable as we seen him be in his first year. So I don't know what's going on with Washington. I'm rocking with New York Giants, and I'm taking New York Giants -2.5, which it's still at 2.5. from when did I make these notes? Probably like Thursday. So yeah, it's held up since. Next up, we have Buffalo taking on New England. Now this is an interesting matchup. Um, the Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills earlier this year, and I honestly think they're going to be able to do it again. It's a good challenge for them. They haven't played too many teams with 500 records and above, so it's a good game for them to measure how good they are. I'm taking New England plus 2.5 and New England with the pick. Following that, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, a battle of the AFC West. I have the Chargers getting the dub here. Kansas City, similar to Washington, after a couple losses, seem to be going down in a spiral. They don't look like the Chiefs that I thought they were middle of the year when they started getting momentum. Seem to have lost it. I believe Chargers are going to be able to control the ground game, eat up the clock, and I got the Chargers plus 5.5. They got Kansas City favored. How much? What is -6? So let's switch it up. Chargers plus 6. So pick Chargers and the Chargers plus 6. Following that, we have Baltimore taking on Cincinnati Bengals. I like the way Joe Burrows looked after his injury, so I'm rocking with Cincinnati. Baltimore was coming off a win streak, lost. They may be able to bounce back, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it against the division rival against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm rocking with Cincinnati and Cincinnati plus 2.5. Next up, the Cleveland Browns taking on the Chicago Bears. I'm rocking with Chicago. I like what Caleb Williams has formed to be. Seems to be getting the ball out better than earlier in the season. So I'm rocking with Chicago, but 7.5 points, too much. I think Cleveland's defense is pretty solid. I believe they're playing in pretty cold temperatures, so Caleb Williams may not be as effective. I'm rocking with Cleveland plus 7.5. Chicago pick though. Chicago pick. Cleveland 7.5. I need to say that a little more clear. Next up, Indianapolis taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Um, Seattle, the better team right now, as Daniel Jones is out for the season. They're bringing the Colts bringing up Philip Rivers, which um, I admire because the dude's like 44 or something like that, and he came off the couch, coaching his kids' football team. So I respect it, but not in the NFL level. You're not going to be able to pull that off. So I'm rocking with Seattle as the pick, and let's see what they do. I went with the under 43.5, but let's see if they updated to anything. Oh, 41.5. I'm still rocking with that. 41.5, rocking with the under because that -13.5 is too rich for me. All right, so next up we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Last week I correctly called the Tennessee Titans second win. I've called both their wins this year. So once against the Arizona, second against Cleveland, but they're not going to get that dub here against San Francisco. Too much of a well-rounded team. San Francisco gets a dub, but that -12.5. There's a lot of big spreads this week. I'm not rocking with it, so we are going to hit the under at 44.5. Seems like people are staying away from this game. That has stayed the same. Next up, Carolina versus New Orleans. Carolina 7-6. New Orleans Saints 3-10. Don't gotta say much. I know that it's a division game as the NFC South, I believe. But Carolina Panthers. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I gotta check that. Carolina Panthers get the dub here. New Orleans Saints not good. Carolina -2.5. Following that, we have probably the matchup of the weekend. Maybe there's two. Detroit Lions taking on the LA Rams. Taking Detroit +6 as it's too much points to swallow. I think Detroit's going to score and keep up with the LA Rams, but ultimately LA Rams get the W. So the pick LA Rams spread Detroit +6. Um, Next up, we have Green Bay taking on the Denver Broncos. Uh, Green Bay favored -1. It was at -2.5, so it seems to be people are taking the Broncos. So I'm gonna take that -1 Green Bay. I think this is gonna be one of the toughest matchups Green Bay has faced. Denver's faced all year. Green Bay's gonna be able to get that W, making that pick, and I'm taking the spread of -1. Um, the last two games, we got Minnesota taking on Dallas Cowboys. Um, teams that are very close in records. Only one win separating it, uh, a loss separating them, and maybe a bye, I'm assuming, and a tie. So I would say very evenly output they put out this year. But I'm rocking with the Dallas Cowboys as their offense has been a lot more consistent than the Minnesota Vikings. I'm also taking those -6 points because I think Dallas is solid. I know JJ McCarthy had a pretty good game last week, but I don't think that's going to happen again for this week. I'm taking Dallas and Dallas -6. And the last game of the week, Miami Dolphins taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm rocking with Pittsburgh as the pick and Pittsburgh -3.5. Pittsburgh, um, I don't know. I just feel like I know Miami's rolling on a momentum streak because they are now consistently running the ball, helping Tua out. But I don't know. I'm just rocking with Pittsburgh. I just think being at home, they're fighting for the playoff race. Um, where Miami, I don't know. I don't know. I gotta look at Miami's position, but I feel like they're more of a ruining the party where Pittsburgh can still get in. So I think Pittsburgh is a little more desperate. They're gonna try to get that W. Pittsburgh -3.5 as well. And my stats from last week when it comes to the spreads and the picks, I went 8-6 to bring my total record to 150, 70, and 1. That's right, you heard that. 150, 70, and 1. 20 correct picks away from being 100 more than being wrong. Anyways, the spread total. Last week I went 7-7, making my total for the spread on the season 92, 104, and 6. So let's see if I can improve this week on the 8-6 week last week and the 7-7 for the spreads. Not starting too hot as I'm 0-1 in both, but we'll see how I can rebound. All right, you guys. Didn't make the lines available today. Just wanted to get these picks out real quick, as quick as possible, which didn't really seem that quick. But it is what it is. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know where I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about your team, you get the dub. I'm just tripping. You let me know down in the comments. All right.